All right. So, welcome to another tech class on Wednesdays. I know it's not going on. If somebody comes in, I will. Um, sorry, got distracted there for a second. So, what we're going to do today is the first of a two-part series on smart plans. So, we're going to use Command. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to walk you through the fundamentals of what is a smart plan, why should we use smart plans, how do we actually set smart plans up, things like that. And then next week, we're going to do part two of the class where I'm actually going to help you build out a 36 touch, if you will, using nothing but the KW Command smart plans. So before we dive in, what's the purpose of a smart plan? Well, it's all about staying top of mind. And we all know in today's day and age of real estate, people are taking longer to transact than ever. We actually had a really good conversation in our Tuesday meeting around this that, from the time that you meet a seller, so somebody expresses interest in potentially selling their home to the point that they actually list their home for sale, sometimes that can be upwards of a year or more. And the question becomes, how do you stay in front of your people, not only just checking in with them, making the phone calls, doing the quarterly calls and things like that, but how are you also sending information, whether it be a monthly newsletter or a happy birthday on their birthdays, make sure you don't forget that stuff, home anniversaries, all kinds of other different things. And it's all about staying top of mind. So if we were to, for those of you who are online watching with us, if I were to ask you to name your favorite shoe brand, a lot of you would probably be able to name a brand. Maybe like for me, it would be probably Nike and then maybe Adidas number two. Well, the same thing is true for real estate agents. We want to build a relationship so that we come top of mind so that people want to use us. And then B, we want to stay top of mind. And in order to stay top of mind, that's where we got to hit these little touch points to make sure that we're always putting our name in front of them, just to remind them who we are and what we do. So part of that leverage that Command offers us is the ability to automate some of that so that we're not always having to physically or manually make that touch itself. So I'm going to walk you through kind of how does the smart plan applet work? How do you search for pre-existing smart plans? How do you edit smart plans? And then a few other details on just some tricks of the trade, if you will, on what to do in order to set up your own smart plans, even including building them from scratch. And then again, next week, we'll dive into actually building out a series of smart plans so that when you put somebody on a certain plan, it contacts them and stays in front of them no matter what happens from there. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and we'll dive into this thing. All right. So first and foremost, let me move this around real quick. There you go. All right, so first and foremost, we are going to be working in the Smart Planned applet. So when you come to your Command home screen, I know most of you know this, but this is what the page looks like. We're going to come down and go all the way down here until we get to Smart Plans, which is this little square here. By the way, cheat code I always use is just click the red KW and it'll show you what's what. So when you first click on the Smart Plans applet, this is what it looks like. Couple of general things. One is my smart plan library. This is your library. This is what smart plans have you already downloaded, do you currently have in use. A couple of things in that is it'll say the name, but you can see it cuts it off here. You can hover over it to see exactly what the name of this is. So here's just a couple of mine that I have set up. What date, how many contacts do you have on it? So let me click this real quick. And you can see here, on my birthday plan, I have 165 contacts, just as an example. What date was it created? How long does the smart plan last? So for this birthday plan, it lasts a duration of 6 days. How many total touches happened during that plan? So this one has 4 touches. Then over here, if I wanted to add a contact to this plan, I can simply come here, click add contact. A couple different ways that you can do this. You can search by name. And then just check this box and add that person in. The other thing you can do is click tags and you can search inside your tags. So if I wanted to do my past clients, for example, I would check this box. When I check that box and I remove the Matt Brown off there, let me do that again because I had to delete. Oh, it's there. So all of these people have all my past clients. You can see I have 137, for example, in this part of my database. So you can simply select all, and then you'll scroll down. You see it selects only the first page. This is important to know. So you can see I only have 20 selected so far. Then I'm going to go to the next page, select all, next page, select all, so on and so forth. So just wanted to show that to you. Make sure that you knew in order to be able to get them all, you do have to go page by page and select everybody inside of that. Okay. Other than that, you have this pencil button, which is the edit button. We're going to dive into that here in a minute, as well as these three little dots where you can actually share your smart plans out so that other people can use it, because there's a whole library that all the Keller Williams agents, and this is one of the biggest benefits of Command, is every agent that creates a smart plan, if it's really good, the most of them publish it, and then we get to go in and do my favorite thing, which is R&D, rip off and duplicate it to use that for our own. Okay, so I'm gonna show you all of that here in a little bit. A couple other things on the main screen. If you click this little down arrow, so you can see I'm on the birthday plan. If I click the down arrow, it tells you exactly what's going to happen on each day. So day 1, create a task. Day 2, make a call. Day 6, create another text or create a task and then send a text, and then it's the end of the smart plan. If we go to maybe a longer one, so for example this one, which is a direct email for clients, you can see it has different emails at different times and what the subject line is inside of that email. So just wanted to kind of explain the home screen and kind of what you can use and what you can do inside of it. Now, there's one other thing. If you wanted to see if you create a really good smart plan and you publish your smart plan, if you click publish, then it will show you any smart plans that you publish. So you can see here's all the smart plans that I've published, including how people have ranked them and how many people downloaded them and how many people have ranked them and or how they've ranked them, things like that as well. So you can also do a quick search by smart plan. So if you're looking for quarterly call, for example, you can just type in quarterly and it'll pull up any word that's inside there. So if you know exactly what you're looking for, maybe it's a birthday, you can do that and it'll pull in anything that has the word birthdays inside of it. Okay. So that's the general function of the first page. And then there is the create plan. We're going to use that a little bit later on. But first, the next thing I wanted to show you is how do you search for pre-existing smart plans? Because you don't have to build this stuff from scratch. All of it's already been built out. In order to do that, up here at the very top, we're going to click where it says library right here. So I'm going to click library. And inside of here, you can search it a couple different ways. You can go click categories and get, the top rated, which is actually what I'm going to do. And then it gives you a few different things. Number one, it gives you all of these are the results. You can see we pulled in 3,193, and these are the top rated, meaning when you look at the number of stars, who has the highest ranking. So this one, for example, has 143 5 stars over 1,000 downloads. This one has 3,000 downloads, 148 stars. So you can click through here and find what you want. Now, some of these are old. They're not going to be worth using. Obviously, Halloween 2021 is not something that we're going to use. However, if we wanted to create, let's go through, let's do this one because this is a newer one, a newer to me, I guess I should say. I haven't read through this one, but when you hover over it, it's going to tell you exactly the name. So this is simple text follow-up clients on an MLS auto search, and then it's going to tell you the description behind it. And it says a quick test followed up by clients that may not be ready to buy yet. Sometimes we find a few text reminders can help drive buyers or sellers tell us more about their search rather on the first time that we speak to them. Build this plan to follow up in mind, keep this a good follow-up, so on and so forth. You can read the rest of the description from there. So let's just say, and again, there's tons and tons of these smart plans inside of here. Top rated will pull a lot of the older stuff. So one of the things that I like to do is go to most used, because that will be the most amount of downloads. And there are some basic ones that you're going to want to download. Monthly neighborhood nurture, for example, bi-monthly neighborhood nurture, quarterly call plan, promote my app, birthday, home anniversary. These top about 7 or 8 are all worth having. As a matter of fact, I've downloaded every single one of these, all the way through to the open house down to long-term nurture. So you can check those out. But let's dive into this. I'm going to switch off that and go back to a random one. So I'm taking it off the categories, and we're going to scroll down to our top rated. Let's say that we wanted to do 12 direct emails for clients. So this is a once a month smart plan to keep you in front of your clients while using MOFers. And keep in mind, MOFers are all about getting immediate business. So make offer for immediate response is what MOFer stands for. So we're just going to simply click add the smart plan. It's going to put in the name here. Now, when you first pull it up, it'll look like this. I've already downloaded this one. Here's my tip for you. Put edit and then dash and the name. And then you're going to click download. Now, I already have this one downloaded, so I'm going to show you what that looks like, but you're going to want to click that and then hit download. And then what that does is you can see here's that smart plan 12 direct. The reason I put edit is because we actually need to go in and edit these in order to make them branded to us and as functional as possible. So what I'm going to do next is set up the edit. Oh, let me make sure Alexis come in real quick. Yep. All right, so I'm going to click the little pencil button here to edit the smart plan. Now over here, it pulls up a whole new screen. I'm gonna walk you through this. When you first open it up, it might seem a little overwhelming. It's actually really, really easy to use. So the first thing on the left-hand side is if you wanted to add a task to this, then you would just simply grab this task and you can drop it in anywhere you want and it adds a task. So I'm going to hit cancel to get rid of that. But if you want to edit this smart plan in a way in terms of adding steps, adding text messages, adding calls, adding more emails, you just simply drag and drop it in anywhere that you want it to go. Okay. So and then you can see it has compliance, tips, rules. By the way, if you click the tips, it will tell you like the kind of rules behind it. So if you create a task, you can only have 10 per day. The due date cannot exceed 14 days out, so on and so forth. And you all can read through that and understand. It's on every single smart plan. When you open this page, all of this information is the same as far as this left-hand side. The right-hand side is the overview of what is the smart plan. So we have our name, that edit 12 direct emails for clients. We have how long does it last? This particular one goes for 361 days. How many steps and how many touches? And then does it repeat? And you can edit, obviously, the name and does it repeat. You can also auto add things. We'll get into that a little bit later. One of the things that's important to know, especially if you're going to use this for online leads, maybe people who are getting on your website, or maybe you get leads from some sort of third-party source, whether it's Realtor.com, Zillow, one of the million referral-based companies out there. Well, as part of your follow-up, a lot of times you might have them reach out and say, you don't make contact and you have a series of automated texts and emails that go out. You can actually check this box, both these boxes, and if they respond to an email or they respond to a text, they automatically come off this smart plan. This is important because if you reach out to somebody, they don't answer the phone, you can set it up where they automatically go in your database, they automatically get put on a smart plan, they automatically start getting texts and emails from your database. And when they respond to that text, you don't want them to get another text basically asking them, hey, why haven't you responded yet? So these are really important things to put in place, especially if you're doing the online lead generation portion of it. You can also add tags. So for example, if I put somebody on this, so if I add somebody to my database, and let's just say, I'm going to use seller, for example, and I'm going to add that trigger. What this means is if I put somebody brand new in my database, I add Matt Brown to my database and I go and add the tag seller, as soon as I save that, they're automatically going to go on this. I don't have to go back in and add them to the database, right? So let me know if that doesn't make sense either in the comments, or feel free to stop me at any time. But just want you to know this is how you auto add people. So for example, my team, we use Realtor.com. We get some Realtor.com leads. And one of the things that we have set up in here, and I'll show you this here in a second, is we have the trigger tag of Realtor.com. So anytime a new lead gets dumped into our database with the Realtor.com tag, they automatically go onto a smart plan. And I'll show you exactly what that looks like after I go through this overview here. So, okay. So, and then from there, you can add context straight into this if you want. I don't recommend that right now. Right now, what we're doing is just learning how to edit and use the smart plans. So what I'm going to do is, first thing is I'm going to click on step 1. And I want to make sure that this is branded, A, that it's the message I want to deliver, and then B, that it's actually branded to me. So what we're going to do is we're going to look, and you can see it's just a simple email. You can see the subject line is, how are you? By the way, if we don't like any of this, we just hit that little edit button at the top. Go back, this button right here. And we're going to, say I don't like, how are you? And I wanted to say, I actually wouldn't send this. I'm just making an example. Checking in on you, something like that. You can change it to anything that you want. Now I'm going to go back to, how are you? Okay. Then it's going to say, what is the actual message? And here it says, hey, and you can see it has contact.first.name. That means that their name, whoever the contact is, regardless of who's on the smart plan, it's going to put their name in first. So in my case, it would say, hey, Matt, comma, how are you doing? So on and so forth. So to add the merge tags, by the way, so say you want to say first and last name, I'm going to put a space. Don't forget, if you're doing first and last name, always put a space in there. It won't automatically space. Then you go to add merge tag and last name. So now it would say, hey, Matt Brown. Or I could make it say, there's a number of different things in here. You can have emails, phone numbers, including your information, team name, your app link, all kinds of stuff like that. Okay. And I'm going to take that back out real quick. Okay. Then it says, how are you doing? I wanted to check in with you and your family. Is there anything I can do for you at this time? All the best. Agent first name, last name, Keller Williams. And then you can see here, it doesn't have any of the information. So it says cell phone, but you actually have to plug this in. So I'm going to put mine in, for example, and then you would go through and plug in the rest of this info, or maybe you didn't want them to call the office. So you take that completely out. You add your email, you add your website. So, for me, it's, 270agents.com, and then what's your email, at 270agents.com. And now, as you see, it has the app link merge tag in there, which means it's going to automatically put my link in. Of course, you could go in and paste it and things like that as well. The other thing that you can do inside of this is make it a hyperlink. And a hyperlink very simply means whenever they open this email, I can create this to be a hyperlink so that it goes straight to my website. Okay. In order to be able to do that, we're just going to click add hyperlink. The name of it is going to be 270agents.com. My hyperlink. I'm going to go to my website now. I don't know why it's saying that, but that's very strange. One second here. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my home page, and then I'm just going to simply copy this, and I'm going to come in and paste it there and click add link. So now you can see I can delete out this part because I just added in, and it's now a hyperlink. You can do the same thing on emails, all kinds of different ways that you can get creative and use this. You can even have a property link, for example, on your website, and it goes straight to that property. Then who do they reply to? So this is what email that they will, if anybody replies, where are you going to get that reply? That's set up in your settings. You cannot change that through this part of Smartplans. And then when should the email be sent? In this case, I want it sent on day one. And then you can even set the day one is basically immediately when it sends. On the other ones, you can actually set what time of day that you want it sent. So then we're going to hit save changes. I'm going to review back through it and make sure that everything is set up the way that I want it to be. I would probably go in and change this to Keller Williams Elite or Keller Williams Heartland. But yeah, everything looks good there. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on tab number 2. Now, this is really important. The very top, after your first one, because this one happens immediately when the contact's added to the smart plan. The next one is how long do you want to wait before the next action happens? So in this case, if I'm sending a monthly email, I want it to wait 30 days. So I can come in here, I can edit this, and I can go all the way up to 365 days or 300. The total amount can't exceed 360 days. So you can see here, because I'm trying to do this one at 365, this delay made the duration 696 days. That's too many days. So again, we're doing monthly, so I'm just going to do 30 and leave that there. I can change the position if I wanted this email to be email number 3 and email number 3 to be email number 2. I can change the position there, or you can simply just drag and drop them also, right? So see how I'm just grabbing that and moving it up and down. Yeah. So that'll be your position, and then you do the same thing over and over again throughout this whole email. You're gonna go through. You're gonna click the edit button. Make sure that this says the message that you want to say. Make sure this has all the info that you want to have, and then click save. And you work your way down through each of these. Okay. Once you've done that, we're gonna go all the way to the bottom. The final thing that we're gonna do. Move this out of the way real quick. The final thing that we're gonna do is come into the delay, and then how many times does it start? So we ran through this basically 330 days. We've sent 12 emails in this particular smart plan, we're going to ask it to wait 30 more days. You can see here's the delay. And then do we want the plan to restart, or do we want something else to happen? In this case, I want it to repeat unlimited times. It means you're going to get that same series of emails every year for the whole time that you're in my database. There's also a couple different endings that you can do. I'm not a big fan of sending the same emails out to somebody, even if there's a year separated between them. I like to have different messages. So I'm actually going to stop this one and not do it as a unlimited. Instead, what I'm going to say is that it only repeats, we'll say just one time, for example. And instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this add to a smart plan in. Oh, let me save the changes on that. I'm going to come in and add to a smart plan, and I'm going to put this here. So what this means is once they get this final email, I can set a trigger where they automatically get added to a different email series. So I could create year 1, here's the 12 emails I sent. Year 2, here's the 12 emails I sent. Obviously, it's kind of an extreme example, but I just want to make sure you're all following me. Then I have a third one, year 3 email sent. By the time I've gone through 3 years, I'm probably okay to send back to that first year. But that's just a kind of wild and crazy example. What most people do, and what I actually do, is I'm going to come back and put them on something different at this point, even if it's just a quarterly call, for example. So maybe I finish at the end of my 12 months, and from this point, I don't want to email them anymore. I just want to talk to them on the phone. I can see when does that start? What time of day does it trigger? I like to do my lead gen in the morning, so I'm going to do morning between 8 and 12. That's when they're going to add to the smart plan, and that's going to trigger my task in order for me to do. And I'm going to hit add step there. So you can see I've just added them. So at the end of this, it goes straight into that. And then here, since I don't want to do a delay and we're putting them on another smart plan, I'm going to delete the delay, which is this little trash button down here at the bottom. I hit that, and you can see it's the end of my smart plan. So now what we've set up is a smart plan that reaches out to the agent the consumer once per month, skips 30 days, does it again, skips 30 days, does it again. At the very end, they move them to a KW quarterly call plan or whatever smart plan that you decide, and then it ends from there. So any questions on just the formatting of this in regards to how do you edit them, anything along those lines before I jump over to the next one? You can either put it in chat or come off mute and let me know. I'll give you just a second before I move on. Okay. All right, and we are recording this, so you will have a point of reference to come back and look. All right, so no questions on that, so I'm going to go ahead and close this. By the way, I'm going to actually close without saving because I don't want to make the changes that I made to this for my own personal use. So I'm going to go close without saving. You would obviously close with saving. Once you've done that, don't forget to change the name of your smart plan. That's one thing I didn't show you. You're going to want to come in to the smart plan over here to the edit button on the right. Now that we've edited it, you can do it here. And what I always do is I'll put just my initials in front. And now I know this is the smart plan that has been edited specifically to me. Or if you're on a team, you can put in your team name, for example, stuff like that, and then hit save on that. And that's why that edit piece is so important, because you can go through and see, okay, what have I edited and what have I not edited so far, right? So just wanted to kind of show you that general flow and how to operate through that as well. Next thing I wanted to show you is inside of the library, there's a couple other things that you can do. Let me find a example of a really good one. Newsletter template. So I'm going to add this smart plan. This is if you're wanting to get into sending newsletters. By the way, sneak peek for those of you who are watching this or watch the recording later on, I'm going to be doing a 2-part series on Canva and then that's going to be coming in August, and then in September I'm going to do a piece on MailChimp. So if any of you are wanting to get into newsletters and you don't want to wait till then, just reach out to me. I'll gladly sit down with you and kind of show you what we do for ours inside of there. But I'm going to go ahead and download this newsletter template. We're going to go back to Smart Plans. You can see here's that newsletter template. And basically, the way that this one is set up is it's basically a task reminder for you to create the newsletter. So this is another thing that you can do is you can set this to just be like reminders for you. So for example, it says send email and it has the image and you can go in, I'll preview it. This is what the image looks like. You can go into designs and edit this completely. So it does have one that's formatted for you. And you can go in and use that by replacing all of that information, or you can use it just to set a reminder for you. So maybe instead of it actually sending the email, it comes in, it creates a task, and then from there you can say create email. Then you put in your description, anything you want there. You can put what day do you want it done. So I want it on this first day. What step is it? We're going to click add step. And now what I'm going to do is I need to change this one so that it actually sending the newsletter, so to speak, that happens afterwards. So what I'm going to do is, oops, actually I clicked the wrong thing. We're going to come in here and we're going to add a day, and then I'm going to drag my email to here. Now, inside of there, since I'm on day 2, it's going to give me the option of what day should the email be sent. It's going to be day 2, certain time of day. I like my emails when I'm sending out to my client base. I like those to be in the morning as well. And then click save changes from there. And then of course we can put in our delays and different things along those lines as well. So you can see here we have wait 1 day. I want to wait and oops, wrong thing. I want to edit this and here, and then change that to 30 days, for example. Okay. So that'll show you how, like just another example of how that works. Now I'm going to show you last thing before we wrap up. I want to show you our online lead one and how it triggers. So this is my smart plan for all of our online leads. By the way, these are published. You can go in and I'll show you that before we get off, but I'll show you how to search for a published lead. You can see that it triggers, oh, hold on, that's the wrong one, sorry. Oh, I'm not under my team, that's why. 1 second. Got to switch to my team account. Here we go. So 270, this is going to be the one here. And you can see inside of this, if it's Facebook ad, realtor.com homelight, or realtor.com lead, if any of those tags get applied, they automatically go onto this smart plan. The very first thing is it creates a task for my agents to reach out to them. And you can see if I click on that, it says call within 2 minutes, don't leave a voicemail. If contact isn't made, send a follow-up text immediately. If Facebook lead, send a Facebook message. If contact isn't made, then send an email, so on and so forth. So it provides detailed instructions on exactly what should happen, what me as the agent should be doing whenever this lead comes in. Then it skips a day and it reminds me to make another call. Because keep in mind, this smart plan assumes that I have not talked to them at all up until this point. And then it's going to send an email to them. And this is my email. You can see I have the pre-built in stuff inside of there, but it basically just says, hey, I want to be your go-to agent, so on and so forth. Skips a day, sends another text, skips a day, so on and so forth. So you can see how that kind of flows out. One of the things that is most important inside of that is I have those triggers. Oops, didn't mean to close it. I want you to see here that I have those triggers in place where when somebody replies, actually I didn't have them in place. I need to have them in place. I don't know why that was unchecked. So now I check these. Now when somebody replies, it takes them off the smart plan completely. And that way I don't have to worry about, if they end up responding to this first text that says, would you like me to send you a home market report? Then I don't have to worry about them 2 days later getting another text that says, hey, I'm excited to chat with you, because we've already chatted at this point. They've responded to me. So I wanted to show you that. And then the last thing I'll show you is in the library, you can also search. So you can search for my old team, BW, and it'll pull up all the smart plans that I've always used. I still use these smart plans to the day. I just never went in and changed the name of them when we rebranded. But you can see tons of smart plans already ready for you to be able to use, already customized to our market. And then you can also search for 270 homes, and there should be 1 or 2 in there. Yeah. So that's the online lead one. this 270 Homes Just Looking Nurture, for example, that's our online lead one. And if you want access to any more, if you have an idea on something that you maybe want to do, but you're not sure on how to find it, just shoot me a message and I'll be glad to go in and find this best smart plan for you or help you build out a smart plan. Because this is the beautiful thing about it is this thing is fully customizable to anything that you want to do. So that's the Smart Plans 101, I guess, beginner course, if you will, on how to operate it, how to use it, things like that. Let me know if you all have any questions. I'll stay on for a few minutes and answer those. And if not, make sure you come back next week because we're actually going to build out that 36 touch. And I'm going to show you the series of Smart Plans that I've used for the last 5 or 6 years that keeps me in front of all my clients. So any questions, comments, or anything along those lines before we wrap up?
I have one, but it's completely not related to smart plans.
Go ahead. I'll tell you what, let me stop the recording and then we'll go. 1 second.